Thank you for purchasing Ceiling Max, the surface mount grid system from ACP. Our products are developed to be easily installed yourself with a few basic instructions. We strongly recommend that you watch this video through to the end before beginning installation. There are installation tips at the end that will help you throughout the process. Before you begin, you will need a few tools: a chalk line or string line for creating straight line guides during installation, a drill with a Phillips screwdriver bit, a tape measure, tin snips, a utility knife, and a quantity of 1-inch long Phillips head drywall screws. The most important piece of preparation before you begin your Ceiling Max installation is calculating the alignment through room planning. Proper alignment will help you to achieve professional-looking results by balancing the borders around the edges of your room. In this example, we'll use 2-foot square tiles. First, measure the room in one direction. We'll take the length of this room. Round that measurement down to the nearest even-numbered whole foot. Subtract the whole foot number from the room dimension. Add 24 inches to the result. Take the result and divide by 2. This number will be the size of the border tile for the direction you measured. You will want to run a chalk or string line along the wall to mark this measurement for the length of the room. Let's run through it again to review. Now we'll measure the width of the room. We'll round that measurement down to the nearest even-numbered whole foot, subtract the whole foot number from the room dimension, add 24 inches to the result, take the result and divide by 2. This number will be the size of the border tile for this room dimension. Mark this measurement with chalk lines or string lines for the width of the room. Check the intersections of the border measurement chalk or string lines at the corners of the room to verify that they create a square 90-degree corner. Here are some important notes on making your border tile calculations. First, the border tile size won't get larger or smaller in relationship to the room dimension, so it's possible you may end up calculating a larger border tile for the shorter room dimension. As long as you follow the formula, your measurements will be correct. Second, you may be tempted to skip the formula and simply fill the leftover gap you have between the room dimension and the maximum number of whole tiles that will fit. We recommend that you stick with the formula. We've worked hard to help you create the most professional quality installation possible, and following the instructions carefully will ease your installation. Last, if you are using 2-foot by 4-foot tiles and would like to plan out your border tiles proportionately, this version of the calculation is in the tips section at the end of the video. Step 1. Installing the Ceiling Max wall bracket. Attaching the wall bracket will be your first step. The wall bracket comes at 8-foot sections and can be easily trimmed to length with your tin snips. The wall bracket will be installed around the perimeter of the room. The wall bracket is designed to be mounted with the larger flange facing up toward the ceiling. This gives you 2 options for securing the bracket. You can use your drywall screws to secure the bracket by driving the screws horizontally through the bracket into the wall, or you can drive the screws into the ceiling through the extended portion of the deeper flange. Using the extended flange to secure the wall bracket to the ceiling can also be used to create a clean exposed border where you may want to end your Ceiling Max installation due to a natural break in the ceiling or the border of another room. When securing the wall bracket, drywall screws can be installed into the ceiling joists, or the wall, and should be spaced 16 to 24 inches apart. You have 2 easy options for the corners of the room where the wall brackets meet. The first and simplest option is to simply cut the wall brackets to proper length and create the corner by overlapping the ends of the bracket to create a square joint. For a more finished look, Miter cut the lower flange on the wall bracket that is exposed lower at the joint with your tin snips. Step 2. Cutting and installing the first row of top hangers. The top hanger comes in 8-foot sections and is installed by fastening directly to the joists or to the existing ceiling. Top hangers are best installed following the long dimension of the room unless you are installing your Ceiling Max system directly over ceiling joists, in which case the top hangers must be oriented perpendicular to the joists. The first top hanger in each row will need to be trimmed so that the notch closest to the end is aligned with the chalk lines you made to mark the border tile dimensions, and the cut end is in the wall bracket. If the border measurement is more than 12 inches, use the second notch to measure the location of your cut. Once you've verified this measurement, it may save time in step 3 if you cut enough top hangers to account for the number of top hanger rows you'll need for the project. Your first row of top hangers will be aligned along the border tile chalk or string line. Use a drill with a Phillips bit to attach the first row of top hangers to the joist or ceiling surface with the drywall screws, placing one screw in each joist, alternating sides of the channel. If attaching to a ceiling surface with the joists concealed, screws should be 16 to 24 inches apart. To continue the first row of top hangers, cut a 6-inch section of runner and use it as a temporary splice to connect the attached top hanger to the next, preserving alignment while you install the screws. When the first row is complete, cut the last top hanger in the row so it fits into the wall bracket. Your last notch in the top hanger before the wall should align with your border tile line. Step 3. Installing the remaining top hangers and cross tees. The cross tee is manufactured to be the proper length and is installed perpendicular to the top hanger to create grid support. Using the pre-cut top hangers from step 2, align the first notch with the cross tee dry line. Use a cross tee as a spacer to determine the position of the next top hanger. Place one end in the notch of the previously installed top hanger and the other end in the matching notch of the next row of top hangers. Make certain that both ends of the cross tee fit snugly into the notches. Attach the top hanger as in step 2 and continue to install cross tees as you go to maintain proper spacing for the entire run. Cut the last top hanger to fit into the wall bracket as you did for step 2. Repeat these steps to continue installing top hangers and cross tees. When all the rows are installed, measure, cut, and install the first and last row of cross tees, resting the cut ends in the wall bracket. It's important that you do not install the last cross tee in the border rows until step 4. Step 4. Cutting and placing border tiles. Starting where the first top hanger was installed, cut ceiling tiles to fit each location using your utility knife and slide each one into the wall bracket. When using revealed edge tiles, you'll need to create a notch along the cut edge so that the tile will lay flat. After measuring the notch around the manufactured edges of the tile, use your utility knife to make 2 cuts in the tile to form the revealed edge on the trimmed side. Using a straight edge, such as a metal ruler, will help give you professional results. Rock the cross tee slightly as you insert the tile. When the last ceiling tile in the border row is correctly cut to size and in place, install the final cross tee. Step 5. Locking in the runner. The runner is 8 feet long and snaps into the top hanger, completing the grid system and locking the ceiling tiles in place. Install the full ceiling tiles for your ceiling by tilting the cross tee and resting each tile in the grid system. As you finish installing each row of ceiling tiles, snap the runners into the top hangers to complete the grid. Start with full-length runners and cut the last runner in each row as required for room length. Here are some tips for specific installations. Tip number 1. Before you begin, box in any ducts, piping, or window openings to create a wall or ceiling surface and frame the Ceiling Max installation around it with wall brackets. Tip number 2. Light fixtures can be installed or adjusted to align with the Ceiling Max grid system. Make sure to provide adequate space, 1/4 inch preferred, between the outer dimensions of the fixture and the ceiling tile. This is especially important when the lighting is recessed incandescent. If you plan to use lighting designed for use with suspended ceiling systems, the fixture must be supported by the joists, not by the Ceiling Max grid system. Tip number 3. If starting a room with a full-size flat tile, or if you are using revealed edge tiles, order 25-inch tees from the manufacturer. Tip number 4. To accommodate 1/2 inch conduit or pipes, they must run parallel to the direction of the top hangers. After planning your room appropriately and installing the top hangers, notch the vertical portion of the cross tee or runner with your snips. Tip number 5. If using 2-foot by 4-foot tile, round the 4-foot tile dimension of room measurement down to the nearest number divisible by 4. Add 48 inches to the remainder and divide by 2 to determine your border tile size. Tip number 6. If your existing ceiling is not level, we recommend you fur the ceiling or place shims between the top hangers and the mounting surface to level the run. If the adjustment is minimal, you can back out the screws in the top hangers.